Oh, yes.
Yeah, it's just like a walk, but you always step off and do that.
In places, that's fine. As long as I get to one, I get to one on the end just because I'm if they are, I'll wait for them. Yeah, I'm waiting for Mr. Cathcart, but at a certain point, and I don't know, is that possible? I have another 4 minutes.
Browse one more. Process it.
I mean, they got actually like 4 minutes. That clock is back. Hey, Phil. Kyle, give you your file?
He did.
Good.
Hey Phil, come and join us for fun.
Sure.
think we have enough chairs. I don't know if Michael's
I'm looking at morning. I really want to come over. Perfect.
see Josh. It's something with courts.
Yeah, I'm sure that.
Is it on the courts? 276?
That's another 2 minutes on my clock. Not a bad turnout. Small class.
Sorry, I was working on that UIR. No.
Roger. We're going to play Bashful after 30 years? 31. 30. Wow. That's been
Everybody, please rise for the class processional. 115, attention! Forward, march! Group, halt. Left, face. Everybody, please join us in singing our national anthem, and you'll find that we have printed the words for some people. We're only going to sing the first verse, of course, of our national anthem, and we're all going to sing together. The class leading, of course. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight, for the ramparts we've watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave for the land of the free and the home of the brave. 115th, take seats. Please be seated. I'd like to welcome you here to the Southern State Correctional Facility for the graduation of the 115th Vermont Correctional Academy, and this was the Southern program. Today at about the same time, we have two other groups, one up in the St. Johnsbury and one over in St. Albans, also graduating today. Graduations are an important ceremony. They are a passing, they're a moving forward. It's a recognition of change from who they were to who they will become. It's also a chance for us to recognize really the hard work that you guys have done to help prepare your loved ones for this process and support them as they, did the difficult hard work here at the Academy. Probably many of you saw your loved one standing there with one of these, busily reading, trying to figure out what they need to know, how to pass that test, how to be ready for that skill assessment. And their standing here before you really is a testimony to the support and the strength that they've received from home. I also want to take a moment just to remember, first of all, those who have come before us, the proud legacy that we have in corrections, especially here in Vermont. We should remember that many correctional officers, many corrections professionals before us helped us get to where we are now today, and as we continue to move forward and improve. We also should remember that at this time, there are men and women across our country and around the world who are standing in harm's way that protect our home and our families. And you should always kind of keep them in the back of your mind. Not only those who are abroad and overseas in our armed forces, but you also should remember that every day there are men and women who serve our communities, whether as firefighters, whether as law enforcement officers, EMTs, and one of those who's often forgotten is our correctional officers. But all these people stand strong to protect our communities. So we'll just take a moment. Thank you. It gives me great pleasure to introduce to you the class speaker. When I asked the class, for nominations for who they thought should speak for the class, I asked them to, look at their classmates, think about what it is to be a corrections professional, that the person that they would have speak for the class should represent not just in how the person looks, but in how the person acts, thinks, behaves, what they believe a true correctional professional looks like, will become. With great pleasure, I want to introduce you Mr. Casey Leahy. He will be a CO starting here at the Southern State Correctional Facility.
mission statement of the Vermont Correctional Academy declares itself responsible for producing well-trained and competent corrections professionals. Our class was not an exception to this standard. The VCA 115th South is the epitome of the potential to achieve. Though small, the 115th South met every challenge put before them by the Vermont Correctional Academy with strong effort and steadfast resolve. We coalesced as a group to overcome these new obstacles placed before us, and as a team, we conquered them. When one member of our team struggled, the rest of us stepped in with support. When faced with changing instructors or a new evaluation method, we approached the change as a collective. The more change and adversity we faced, the tighter the group became. Advanced Communication Techniques, or ACT, we quickly became the first serious challenge for our group. Not only was the course load challenging, but ACT was also the first week of practical evaluations and new instruction. By midweek, the anxiety was high but manageable. We took full advantage of our time together during the day to test each other on material and increase our comprehension. There was no wasted time or interactions. Not all of us passed the exam on the first try, but we rallied together and made sure that all passed with flying colors on the second attempt. ACT Week was a critical evolutionary step for our group. When we needed support, the group responded. The support offered was much more important than the grades earned. Fellow trainees giving up their break times to assist others in need of help exemplify the selfless attitude that a Vermont correctional officer needs. The teamwork displayed during ACT Week continued to grow throughout the academy. Use of Force Week became the next great challenge for the 115th. The constant mental and physical tests of this week pushed the group in a way we had not yet been exposed to. Combining the tasks of learning new techniques and procedures and then applying those new skills created new struggles. Group demographics became more apparent and the group grew closer. We worked through aches, pains, bruises, and exhaustion. As each member was pushed past their limits, we stepped in as a team to carry the weary. The experiences from this program give me a supreme confidence in the members of my academy class. All those who will take the correctional officer's oath of service today will act as prudent, strong, and intelligent servants to the citizens of Vermont. We will keep our community safe while effecting positive change in our offender population. The 115th South serves with knowledge, integrity, and respect.
I now have the pleasure of giving out the Class Achievement Awards. Every Academy class has people that rise to the challenge, become leaders. All of them at some point are actually forced into that leadership role, as each and every one of them was forced to be a team leader at some point and to have to stand up in front of their peers and demonstrate their leadership skills. Correctional officers are leaders. They are role models of pro-social behavior, and we expect them, when they work in their living units, to be leaders. And when things happen, we expect that they're going to step up to the challenge. This class, really no exception. They all stepped up to the challenge. All of them gave good service to each other. I was very happy when, at a certain point during the ACT Week, stuff was happening in the institution, the instructor got pulled out of the room. I find out that I have no instructor in there. I go in, what do I see? They're practicing the skills, they're briefing back each other, they're working on the material. This class had a good, strong, mature work ethic and attitude. That being said, I can't recognize every one of you. Instead, I have to work off of really the feedback from the class and what I saw. Let's see. Now, you guys like Whose Line? I can watch Whose Line and pull lines out of it. And I asked for nominations, of course, and I said, please write down something that made this person, in your mind, a leader. And here's some of the things that I got. his professional attitude and commitment, good knowledge and confidence, wasn't afraid to step up to any task. Great guy. Shows respect to others and staff. And again, I can look across the entire class and I can see these reflected in all my participants in this academy. But it does give me great pleasure to call up again Mr. Leahy, who the class nominated for this award. Of course, I'd like to bring you out and turn you to face the class and read what's on here. It says, Outstanding Leadership Award, KCD Leahy, for demonstrating superior leadership qualities and providing outstanding service during the 115th Vermont Correctional Academy South, and it's dated January 3rd, 2012 to February 3rd, 2012. Congratulations. The second award I have simply comes down to numbers. Numbers, numbers, numbers. Now, remember I pulled out, I said, you probably saw this, right? And you probably heard grunts and groans of, oh, I gotta take a test tomorrow. I gotta go and demonstrate some skills. I gotta do something. And for some people, I mean, think about it. When's the last time you were in school? For some of us, it's been a while. To actually sit down and have to study and pull out information and then not just learn something, but figure out how they're going to ask for you to give it back. Because the test that we often gave them, as they found out, especially early on, didn't simply say we wanted rote knowledge back. We actually would expect them to apply that knowledge to demonstrate that they really did understand the concepts. And when you just, especially some of the classes, you get the class in the morning, the next thing you know, you're taking a test in the afternoon. This class really came together. They worked hard. Again, I would say that this person is a good representative of the class. And Mr. Leahy. Turn you again to face the crowd. And the grades, I mean, they were right up there and pretty close together. But for outstanding academic achievement, demonstrating the highest grade point average for the 97th, for the 115th with a 97.91. I would point still of it. During the 115th Correctional Academy South, again, January 3rd, 2012 to February 3rd, 2012. Congratulations. And I should layer in that. I told them that having the highest GPA is not the most important thing. It's good to have, and it shows the work of the group. But I also said the most important thing was that you achieve success. And I would say this group of trainees have truly achieved success. And I expect that they're going to continue that learning process when they start their OJT week shortly. Monday, Sunday maybe? We don't watch the football game anyhow. This time we're going to do the certificate presentation, and I'll have my board please assist me in this. Let's see, I have the certificates right there. I'd like to give them to them as they come around. 115th, attention! Right face. From the Marble Valley Regional Correctional Facility, Philip M. McKee. From Southeast State Correctional Facility, Gail T. Nadeau.
Congratulations. Well done.
Michael Herbert Pelton. From the Southern State Correctional Facility, David C. Brunell, Jr. Casey D. Leahy.
Standing. Thank you, sir. Welcome aboard. Thank you.
Barry J. McKenzie.
We'll do that first. Congratulations.
Brandon S. Woodard. Left, face. I'll now have Carolyn Marsh, she's the Assistant Superintendent of Security of the Southern State Correctional Facility, administer the oath.
Okay, if you could raise your right hand and repeat after me. Okay. I state your name. Acknowledge this oath
Acknowledge this oath,
and the badge of my profession
the badge of my profession,
as symbols of the public trust
as symbols of the public trust,
in my ability and commitment
and my ability and commitment
to provide for the public safety
to provide for public safety
as a professional correctional officer.
as a professional correctional officer.
I agree to maintain
I agree to maintain
the highest ethical standards
the highest ethical standards
and serve the Vermont Department of Corrections
and serve the Vermont Department of Corrections
to the best of my ability.
to the best of my ability.
I freely accept
I freely accept
this responsibility
this responsibility
and swear to uphold
and swear to uphold
the humanitarian and legal principles
the humanitarian and legal principles
of the corrections profession
of the corrections profession
throughout my career.
throughout my career.
One 115th. Take seats. It now gives me great pleasure to have Mr. William Cathcart, who's the Training Center Administrator, to come forward and to address the class.
Good morning. Morning, class.
Good morning, sir.
Another graduation, the 115th. These come with great regularity and certainly with great pleasure. It's an honor to watch new officers go to the job. It also is great to see the families and friends and colleagues of the department here as well, as you're now part of their support system while they're in this department. One of the things that's very important on our job is our own wellness, and I talk to every class about it. Make sure you're taking time with the family and the friends and your colleagues and your support systems to maintain that wellness. It's so important, and it's great to see all the support here. I'd like to take a moment and thank Training Coordinator Ross Farnsworth, who is a valuable asset to the HRD unit and has done a great job coordinating this academy class. Thank you very much, Ross. also would like to take a moment to thank Mr. Patanis, who's superintendent of the Springfield facility, and his staff for hosting the program. It certainly is very much appreciated, Mark, that I know that there was many challenges over the last 5 weeks. You know, you had a little audit and things like that, and I appreciate all the support that you and your staff have given us. Thank you very much. And in this post-Irene world, this could be more of the norm as of, for our future academy operations. Certainly, the sky's the limit for these graduates, as many of us have found in the department. And when we started in exactly the seat that you're sitting in. Maybe even before that time, maybe some people here that didn't actually go to an academy because one didn't exist at that point in time. But what has happened through that time span is that there are people sitting in this room that started as temporary employees with the department and worked themselves up through the ranks and the positions of superintendents and SOSs, and that through shift supervisors. Our deputy commissioner started as a temporary correctional officer, and really that you have opportunities are the only limitations on them is you. So I hope that you embrace your time with our department and that you go forward, and I appreciate your participation in this class. I wish everybody the best and good luck.
Now it gives me great pleasure, excuse me, to introduce Mark Patanis, the superintendent of the Springfield Southern State Correctional Facility, as the keynote speaker.
I actually wrote something, which means I have to put my glasses on to read it. Thank you all for coming. This is a big day for these new correctional officers. And just for the record, Ross was one of my FTOs when I started. So we go back a ways. Okay. Every decision that we make in life has consequences, some good, some neutral, and some bad. You've all made a decision very recently. That decision was to become a correctional officer. And now you've completed the first step. In August '97, I sat where you're sitting today, Bill referred to, wondering what my immediate future would bring. Little did I know, right? Look around you. Everyone here started somewhere. Today's your new starting point. All jobs, by their very nature, are a responsibility. Being a correctional officer is a huge responsibility, absolutely mammoth. It's a static environment with fluid dynamics. It's a place where everyone can make a difference if they choose. The way that you carry yourself affects everyone around you. The way you communicate with other staff and with the inmates in our charge affects everyone. Don't fall into negativity. Just one problem employee can damage the performance and hurt the morale of the entire team. Do not create unnecessary conflict. There's enough natural conflict in this environment. Smile, laugh. It's a good thing to do. It makes work a better place. Perform at least to your capability and strive for being above the line. See it, own it, and have integrity. Some days are better than others. Some days you'll work too many hours. I can guarantee that. That's a gimme. Okay. Some days everyone will argue with you about everything. Most of it you have no control over. You'll come to work in ice storms and blizzards, in the hurricanes, Irene. Yeah? And there are no roads, and the 100-degree days in the summer when the blocks are just like brick ovens. We're 24/7. We don't close. You will give time from your lives and from your families to make other people's lives safer. And there'll be unseen acts of excellence that occur daily inside your facility, and no one will say thank you for it. You'll respond to 1033s. That's our emergency code for those who haven't been through the academy. And you will care for each other and have each other's backs. The responsibilities are just enormous. Human life. There's nothing bigger, there's nothing more important. Our department continually faces challenge. Population issues, legal issues, staffing issues, financial issues, and moral dilemmas. Our department continually faces change. Change because of new laws. Change because of natural disasters. Change because of new staff. Change because of new inmates. Sometimes change is for the best. One way or another, we have to make the best change regardless of its driving force. This is done by teamwork. Teamwork is the essence of corrections. If you don't work as a team, it just doesn't happen. And everyone who's worked in the facility can attest to that. Jacob Neusner, he's often celebrated as one of the most published authors in history. He's written and edited more than 950 books. He's a member of the Institute of Advanced Study in Princeton, life member of Clare Hall and Cambridge University. He is the only scholar to have served on both the National Endowment for the Humanities and the National Endowment for the Arts. He wrote these words: "Do not expect the success that comes from easy accomplishment and ready recognition. What will justify the effort if all there is before you is defeat and renewed struggle? You must learn to expect success in order to justify your efforts." Think about that. You must learn to expect success in order to justify your efforts. You must also learn to need only to think the effort necessary, whatever the outcome. Great things are not accomplished by the shouters, but by the workers. But to learn to work, that is a hard task indeed. Every day in corrections, we face new challenges. You don't know what's going to happen. Yesterday, Mr. Rutherford, SOS Rutherford, and I were conducting tours in the facility. We had a group of community leaders, and we split the group up. He took the first group, went into a unit, inmate, gladly showed him the cell that he lives in, and was cordial. By the time I got to the unit, the inmate was in a fight with officers. 10 minutes, maybe 15, okay? You don't know what's going to happen any given day. You don't know who you're dealing with. But you have to count on each other. It's not just officers in the facility. It's administrative staff. It's casework. It's our contract services, which are really part of our department. All right? It's medical. It's mental health. It's our faculty, our teachers. It's our volunteers. We have 36, 38 volunteers in this facility. They provide services that we just can't afford to do as a state. Everybody needs respect. Everybody needs to work together all the time. Congratulations. Welcome to Vermont.
Before we do the class recessional, I want to put out just a couple announcements. Please join us after the program. There's coffee and cookies and cake, and we'd like to break bread with you. Also, before the class leaves here, we're going to do a class photo, and I try to also get photos of the individual members with people from their institutions.
Can you introduce everybody up here?
I haven't. I'm gonna. Okay. That's a good idea, though. We should do that, shouldn't we?
It's good.
That's why you're the boss. When we're taking pictures, please take pictures. What I try to do, a little bit behind on it, but I have the video of the graduation, and I take the class pictures and stuff, and I'll put them up online. Actually, I'll send you guys out a link, so get a copy of the pictures that we took. But we do try to get that stuff. It's important. I can actually go back to '93, and I went through the first Vermont Correctional Academy. And in full disclosure, both Mark and I worked for Mr. Pelton's father at the Woodstock Regional Correctional Facility. You know, so we see family coming back around into this business. So spend a few more minutes with us at the end of the program. Oh, so why don't we do, so I have my panel stand up here. Lieutenant Mark Batonis, Southern State Regional Correctional Facility. He is the superintendent here. Ellen McWard, she is the assistant superintendent of programming here at the Southern State Correctional Facility. Caroline Marsh, she's assistant superintendent of security at the Southern State Correctional Facility. If I'm right, CO. Oh, Phil, I'm gonna mess your name up. Phil Fernandez, superintendent of Marble Valley Regional Correctional Facility.
Well, I don't have to sing anymore. I'm glad to be here.
Started as a correctional officer.
Temporary correctional officer, 1991.
Bill Cathcart, training center administrator, started as a correctional officer.
1994, Bill trained me on third shift.
Josh Rochefort is the SOS here at the Southern State Correctional Facility, started as a CO.
2001. And nobody here trained me.
And Roger Barrows, he's the security operations supervisor at the Windsor facility. And geez, I think I have a
1983, no academy.
I have a picture somewhere of you, believe it or not, that was passed down in the training center. Started out as a temporary correctional officer. Anyone on the board like to say a word?
I'd like to echo some of the comments that we heard about thanking this facility for taking care of some of the other facilities' training needs. I know that our recruits from the Rutland area appreciate this trip a lot more than they would have to St. Johnsbury or other points. So, thank you, Mark.
I don't see, I'm going to make it stand back up again. Let's see, so 10 years, we should be able to take this panel and lay them right across here. If everybody please rise for the class recessional. 115th, attention. Left, face. Forward, march. Thank you for spending the day with us. So we can start. Have some cookies. I get one, you guys. If I get a